Hello and welcome to the Home Automation channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Philips Hue lighting kit. Now I already have my lights set up with the Samsung SmartThings hub, but I wanted to give this a try and see what it can do. Now as you can see, this is the generation 3. Now you can tell that because the lights are white, whereas the previous generation, the lights were silver. It's actually 30% brighter than it was in previous generations as well. Now some neat things on the box here. Oh, okay, so you can actually, it comes with 3 different options. So you have your lights and you also have your actual hub. You can also paint with light. You can sync it with music and movies, light it for your well-being, and light schedules for home automation, which is what we're all about here, am I right? Now, we also have over 16 million colors. That means that I could have a different color every hour for the rest of my life and still not even see all of them. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to open this box. Okay, so let's get started. Dun, dun. Wait for it. All right, exciting. Okay, so here we are. There are our lights there. And we have our adapter, obviously. Now, this one here is our North American setup. So for our UK visitors, you should have something different to attach. Now, this one is our actual activation button. And it has your plugins, so your Ethernet cable. And here is the actual lights themselves. Exciting. Now we also have an instruction manual, but we don't need that. You got me. And that one too. All right, so there's our cable and everything's here. Now they've also made some improvements over the dimming, and there's been some variation from cool white to warm white, so you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of different ones. Now let's plug it in and try it out. Now first of all, we need to screw in these guys. So I have my trusty friend here, and it's as easy as putting it in and turn. Whoa, yeah, that's definitely not a problem with being dim. Holy moly. As you can see there, I'll shed a little light on the subject for you. All right, so now we're gonna plug it in and see how it will work with our internet. Now, while it's powering up, I will mention that the Philips Hue kit actually works in conjunction with Google Home. So you are actually able to use the Apple Care kit, which allows Siri to control up to 50 lights, which is pretty awesome. Now, it's also compatible with Amazon Echo, Google Home, and IFT. And now, without further ado, let's open up that app called Hue. So here it is. Now, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it says one new hub bridge found, which of course is what we've done. So I click on setup, and now it says, please press the push link button on the Hue bridge you want to connect to. And I've done that. And now that says it has a software update. So to improve your experience, you will receive regular updates for your Hue bridge lights and accessories. And to keep your lights and accessories updated, you have to accept our terms and conditions. So I am going to click that I agree to the terms and conditions, and I'm aware of those privacy conditions. I have enabled it. Now I tap the plus button to start adding lights. And the plus button is at the bottom right corner. Now it says add lights. To find new lights, make sure the lights are powered on, and then tap search below. So now I'm gonna search because they're all turned on. It's searching for lights right now, the light setup. Okay, so now we have all these bubbles that come up. It says tap next when you wanna continue, tap the info icon to rename your light, and tap the plus button to add more lights. And it found 3 of them. So I am going to move on to the next level there. Now I tap the plus button to create my first room, because now it has 3 unassigned lights. So I'm gonna plus that up, and it's asking me what room type it is. And I can give my first room a name, but the default has been living room, and guess what? That's exactly what it is. So, and I can select which lights are in this room, and I'm gonna keep all 3 of them in this room because they are in my living room. All right, so I'm gonna save that. Saving could take a while, so please keep the app open until saving is complete. It was done just like that. That wasn't very long at all. So now I can go and click on room setup, and there's a little arrow right beside it. So I'm gonna click on that, Congratulations! Your Hue app is up and running. Let's go. So now we are going to add another room. We already have our living room set up. To add a new room, there is a plus sign on the lower right corner. And when we click on that, it's going to ask us the room type. When we type right above that, it's actually going to come up with all of the different locations. For this setup, I am going to choose the kitchen. Now the kitchen is there, and I can actually select lights for that particular room. So for this one, I am going to choose Hue Color Lamp 1. So I have now done that, and I'm going to save in the top right corner. And you can add the kitchen and just change the name. I'm going to put Kitchen Light. Save. Saving could take a while. Please keep the app open until saving is complete. Well, guess what? It didn't take long at all. It is already saved. So now I have two lights set up. There's the kitchen, the living room, and the kitchen light. And so when I click on the living room, for example, I can actually turn them both off, but as you notice, the kitchen one is still on. That's a little too dark, so I'm gonna put that back on. Now, another thing we can do while we're in these different variations, we can actually click on the light part, and it will come up with the two lights that are associated with it. Then when I click on this icon right here, it actually takes me to a screen that looks like this. And with that, I can actually change the type of light that's coming out. Now that's the actual different tones I can go for of white, so a warmer light to a cooler light. And I can also go to the color, which is pretty neat because maybe I'm feeling a little pink. You gotta think pink, baby. So now I'm going to click on the check mark to save that. Now another thing that I didn't show you while I was in there, which I will show you right now, is that there's a recipe. So that's on the top right corner here. And it will actually save for different settings. So if I want to relax, for example, it has a relax setting. There's also a reading setting. There's also a concentrate section. And energize. Well, I want to energize. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to save that again. And that's again at the top right corner. Now, if I go back a little again and just double click that to go to another thing, I actually have 4 different icons on the top here. So if I go to this, there's something called Home and Away. Well, what is that, you wonder? You click on that, and for coming home, leaving home, and location aware, it has different options. Now, the location aware is actually going to tie it to your GPS. Now, for coming home, I wouldn't mind having some lights turn on when I arrive here. So what I can do is I can set it up so that it turns on only after sunset, because I'm kind of a late arriver myself. So I have now initiated that, and I can save that setting. Now that has happened. Now another thing we can do is we can set it up for the wake up. So the wake up, you tap the plus button to create your wake up routine. So I click on that, and I can set it up for 7 a.m., which actually sounds pretty good. And right now it's set to fade in after 30 minutes. And where do you want to wake up? So you can actually choose the living room, the kitchen light. So I usually come down in the kitchen, I make myself some coffee, so I'm going to click on that, and that will actually allow me to have some light when I'm waking up and a little dozy. So that is something I am going to do. I have checked that off, and I have now saved that. So you can save it, and it's saved now as wake up. Now another thing we can do is we can set up go to sleep, which I'm not feeling right now, but that is something you can do. And my routines. Now my routines is another neat thing. You can actually press the plus button there, and you can actually start it for a specific time and for different days of the week and which room you want it to do. So that's another neat thing you can do. Now just to show you that, now if I click on the following next icon down, so that's the first 2, now we're on the 3rd one, there's something called Friends of Hue. Now when I click on that, it's a really neat thing because this app works in conjunction with other friends. It has Google, it has Nest, it has SmartThings, it has Amazon Echo, and a lot of these sound familiar. Why? Because you've been watching the Home Automation channel. And if you're not familiar with these ones, be sure to subscribe and check out our videos in the links below. It also works with that if technology. Now, another thing is apps we like. So if we click on that, it's loading because there are a lot of apps that they like. Now they work in conjunction with something called Hue Disco, which we will get to. Thank you for watching the Home Automation channel. We hope you enjoyed the Hue for you. Now, a great way for a bright new day. As always, we welcome your suggestions, feedback, comments. Feel free to let us know in the comment section below. Like our Facebook page and subscribe for more updates. As always, we appreciate you watching.